So I'm just going to wing it and just make this video. It's my birthday. It is 4/13/2025. And I feel great. Let me just say that first of all. I am in Atlanta over here at the there's this Porsche dealership with a whole track where you can, like, I guess, ride the Porsches. There's one in our area too on Carson. I've never even thought about going, but sitting in this hotel, bird's eye view to the Porsche track, just dawned on me that I might just want to test drive a Porsche just to kind of get on a track. Anyway, and so wanted to just get on here and talk about being 50, my birthday, and a little bit about my journey. First of all, making content, making videos is like something that I think I would be natural at if I just wasn't an overthinker. So this year for me, was about really getting to the point where nothing is holding me back from my goals. And what you learn in all of the mentorship and the webinars and the meetings and all the content and information that you read about being goal-oriented, it's about self, it's about focus. And my name is Deidre Renee. I'm also known as the Wellness Goddess. I'm a self-care specialist, and I own a mobile med spa. I have my very first office in Carson, and so I've done 2 treatments at my office so far. Just trying to fix it up. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And so getting a little bit off subject to come back to the fact that starting, owning, running your own business is not for the weak. And I see why a lot of people say, nah, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I'm just going to go to work. I like my weekly check. I like my monthly check. I like my pay to be steady. Number one, don't be fooled. I have made my 9 to 5 my first business partner. I learned that in my first year on YouTube, on Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to all the platforms that teach people how to elevate in whatever capacity. And so, and I don't have forever because I want to catch the sunset. So let me get to it. 50 years old is great. 50 years young, 50 rotations around the sun. Just wanted to shout out to the conscious community, because changing your language and changing the things that you say about yourself, about others, in your head, the way you think, all matters. And as a self-care specialist, I teach the 8 pillars. And for myself, I always have to look at self, because you can't teach self-care if you don't know thyself. So it's all about breaking down all the things about you that you were unfamiliar with. You need to get familiar with it, right? And so I've always thought that I was an introvert. I don't talk, people don't believe that, because socially, I'm amenable, right? I get along okay with others. But just on a broad basis, being around people constantly is not my thing. And I learned that there's something called, it's not an extrovert, it's not an introvert, it's an ambivert. And what they are people who can be extroverted, but take a lot of solace and need a lot of time to recharge and refresh and be by themselves to feel energized. Some people feel energized in front of audiences, in front of crowds, in front of people. And, that's a good personality type to have when you are in business. And so having to get to know that, right? With all of the information out there in the metaverse, I've learned so many things, and it's about ourselves. And I think 50 is an age where you really, if you were reflecting at 30, so I know a couple of people turned 30 recently, and it's a very reflective time of year, right? Very reflective time in that person's, universe. because it's a milestone. So 30, I was feeling great. I had just um, had my second kid. I was in college, and I didn't feel any way different than in my 20s. I just felt very smart. Like, I am wise, I'm young, and I know enough to know what not to do, what to do, and how to move in this world, right? I learned that I had superpowers, right? I had just moved to LA, and I was had my goals, had my dreams. Things wasn't all laid out or working out the way they were supposed to, but I activated my superpowers without even knowing it. I was so focused on going back to school and being a soccer mom that's what I did. And I provided a beautiful space for my first kiddo and then my second kiddo to just really play, enjoy life, go to school, enjoy. And I felt really good about that, right? Was in college. I had enough to survive on, and I had my goals, my dreams. And I wasn't really doing too much reflecting because I was already in the middle of accomplishing something, which was nursing school. And then I turned 40. 40 was great. And again, you got to have a positive outlook. I think what saves me is that, I grew up in a super positive home. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to my family. They were ahead of their time in being well-adjusted human beings enough to have children. I learned that there's so many people with so much trauma, and I'm here to help. So going back to the sequence, at 40, being super reflective about my relationship. And if I was in a relationship, I spent all of my 30s kind of wanting to be married so bad, like, oh, watching couples and looking at people and wondering how comes I wasn't finding, that person. And then by the time I turned 40, I was like, I knew enough people who were married for many years to know that being married is not for the weak. If you're an independent thinker, you have goals, dreams, ambitions, and a way about yourself, it takes a very special other person to share that time and space with you and allow you to be yourself all the way. And I don't know what I would have done if I was married. I don't think I would have been able to accomplish what I've accomplished because I don't know. In relationships, there's egos that bump around, and I have a big, strong one. And I was taught by my parents that, being married doesn't define you. And no one ever said that to me. I watched them by example break up and be okay and live full lives and be happy. My mom's been remarried. My dad, rest in power, he never got remarried and never wanted to. And had relationships that, I guess they went sour because they didn't understand why they didn't want to get married. That's another subject. Getting back to the sequence of 30, 20, 30, 40. I was over it. Like, being married is not for the weak. It's okay. I don't know if I could share that many of my everyday decisions with another person. And being in relationships with the men that I've been in relationship with, none of them were bad guys. None of them were awful people. It's, I believe, just a personality thing. I have not met the guy who sees me and wants me to be my full self all the way and not be restrictive. I've met one or two guys like that, but again, it's about timing, where we met, how we met, and could we pursue a relationship was not in the cards, right? And so met some wonderful guys, and it's been fun. And so now I'm 50 and I feel great. I think I get a lot of compliments, and thank you everyone for the compliments. You don't look 50. Well, there's the black don't crack thing. I think it's genetics as well. My mom and dad, they had a good mix. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get it right. You got it right 2 times. And they went on to have more children outside of each other. So they got it right 3 times or 4 times each. We ain't gonna tell on my daddy today. And so I'm 50 rotations around the sun today, feeling grateful, feeling blessed, and so glad that I made the scary choice of putting myself out on a limb to become an entrepreneur, start a business, and work at it. It's work. It's not always about money. It's about being of service. It's something important that I learned. It's about collaboration, finding the right collaborations, and just not stopping until you hit the mark. And so I'm this close. I'm so close. And I can feel it. I came to a wealth seminar this weekend. That's why I'm here out of town. And it was so informative. And so now I just have to take action on all the information that I learned in my entire life. It's like cumulative, right? So don't ever think that something that you're going through is a bad thing, or something that you're going, or when your things are not going right, that it's not going right. What it's doing is teaching you. It's teaching you how to ride the wave. It's teaching you how to correct your course. It's teaching you how to not give up just because things are off your plan, right? There's the divine plan. And sometimes that means that it's going to get bumpy. So has my entrepreneurial journey been bumpy? It has, but not without, the beauty of learning the things that I've learned. And what it does is it brings you full circle to a point where you're like, oh, you can only see the benefit of the lesson in hindsight sometimes. Most of the time, you don't see the benefit of your lesson until you come to another point where you're like, oh, let me dodge that, because the first time that happened, I experienced, A, B, and C, and D things. And now I know not to go that route. I know a little bit more about, what I need to know. And so 50 feels great. Okay, we talked about entrepreneurship. That's career, right? And financial and professional. We talked a little bit about relationships. And I just want to say this. The very first thing, I know this sounds corny and it sounds super cliche, but even in 2025, with all the information on the internet, people are still not exploring love languages. So important. Know your love language. Know your friends, family, loved ones, people who you care about. Know their love language. Ask. There's a test online, the 5 love languages. It's like a little questionnaire. It's free. Do it yourself and get to know yourself, and do it on others, as it pertains to, let me see, my social standing, how I'm feeling, checking in with that. I feel pretty good. Socially, I feel great. I've met a lot of wonderful people. I need to foster those relationships and nurture those relationships a little better. But other than that, really coming to a place where collaboration is the next step. Really getting together with other people in the wellness space, in the on entrepreneurial journeys. It's a benefit to know people who do all kinds of other stuff. Everybody's doing life insurance. I've been invited to become licensed at life insurance about 3 times. It is super beneficial. It is so important. We need everyone who loves to understand life insurance. But for me, it was like, oh boy, it's a lot of concepts. And I guess because I'm a science head, I'm more into actual things that I can understand, break down, take apart, and put together. Blocks, building blocks, cells, body parts, nucleus, cell structure, and chemical compounds. I mean, I'm not a chemist or, a very intricate scientist, but I can understand it and absorb it and regurgitate in my own language the concept of things that are scientific. But where it comes to things like life insurance and things like that, not so much. Anyway, that's social. Emotionally, I've been a little bit up and down, just because it's a lot. And having a partner would be awesome right now, having that's one somebody. But at the same time, what I'm learning is the ego of a man tends to be a little bit counterproductive, and I don't think they realize it, but they shade you a little bit. And I don't even think it's on purpose. I think it's just intuitive, something about them wanting to be in control or something about them wanting to protect. Sometimes it's protection. It's not always like, I know he's a narcissist and it's malicious. It's more like they think that what they know is correct and that what you may be doing might be harmful to you or might be too risky. And so then you can't move forward in the way you want to because they have other thoughts and ideas about what you should be doing, which is difficult. And that's why I started off this talk about turning 50 in my 40s and 30s and wanting to be married, and then realizing it's a lot to not be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do when you want to do it, you know. And so to make that sacrifice and be with someone, that person have to be a real special someone with a whole lot of emotional intelligence and a whole lot of ability to articulate their feelings, their thoughts and ideas, because without that information, you feel like the person's hating on you, you feel like the person's stopping you from accomplishing your goals or countering your moves and not being a supportive partner. So emotionally, I've been a little bit up and down because it would really be good to be like a power couple and have someone to go, today was hard because ramble on about all kinds of entrepreneurial stuff about marketing and tech and sites and him be interested, because nobody's interested, right? Only the entrepreneurs care. And then let me see, social emotional. Learning. Ooh, my intellectual pillar is on full. I'm loving it. I have to break it down and put it together, but it's all in there. I'm learning so much. So we're well on that spot. Like we talked about career, activity. I was supposed to go in so hard at the end of the year, just trying to get a jump on New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff, but I'm okay. I try to eat pretty good, salads mostly, occasional pizza with the kids. I love pizza. I haven't met a slice of pizza that I don't like, even school pizza from back in the day, the little half Italian bread with the cheese and sauce. Yummy. Bread, cheese, and marinara sauce, garlic, oregano. It's a win for me every time. So I don't care what kind of pizza it is. When the kids are eating pizza, I eat pizza too. I think that's my biggest food sin. I no longer eat fast food like burgers and fries. My little one is into Chick-fil-A because we don't do McDonald's or Burger King. Chick-fil-A is turning into some not so fresh food as well, but Chick-fil-A for the win for the kiddos with the nuggets and the waffle fries. I get the salad. Sometimes I bite on a little of that mac and cheese that I heard it's got something in it that's not good for you, but so let's see, social, emotional, intellectual, career, activity. So back to activity, that's where I'm at. I've been waking up early in the morning, crack of dawn, go out there. I just walk, lift my little 12-pound weights. I got to make it heavy because 5 pounds and 10 pounds are just not heavy enough. 12 pounds is like right hitting the spot where, you know, when I do some bicep curls and I do some whatever, shoulder presses, tricep, you know, pull downs, but in reverse like that, it's doing something. It has to be hitting the muscle. I'm way too muscular to play around with light weights. So I go heavy. And even if I don't lift, even if I'm tired, just the carrying of the weight, try to hold my posture up and suck in my core and carry the weights even if I'm not lifting. So 12-pound weights in the car, got my earthing shoes, throw those on, make sure I'm grounding. So grounded, you guys. And I noticed that, I don't know if it's so much that I'm looking not like 50 or whatever that is, or if it's my actual energy. So I'm loving the result of where I'm at. in my mindset. And again, that's has a lot to do with isolating. Ooh, am I missing the sunset? Let's see. Oh, I think I'm missing it. I didn't see one. It wasn't too beautiful. I was gonna go on the rooftop, but I still didn't see any purple or pink, not even from the window. So maybe it wasn't a super pink or iridescent sunset today. And I think making this video was super important. So what else we got going on? That activity. So getting up in the morning, that's my time of day. I rarely find myself working out after work or after noon. It's just not, it doesn't resonate with me. So pushing myself to get up 5:30 in the morning, go outside, take a walk. Magic Johnson Park, beautiful, has a lake. There's birds singing. There's all kinds of wildlife. You got to watch out for the geese. They're like pretty big. And so that's activities. Get my steps on. I still do some Chicago style stepping at events. I haven't been to class in a long time, but anytime I have the opportunity to dance, that's my favorite physical activity. So let's see, that's activity, relationships. We touched on that. Spirituality, again, been using the activities and the early morning activities to ground, meditate, do my affirmations, my visualizations. And so spiritually, I'm feeling really, really good. Taking deep breaths all day long. Anytime I think about it, I just do some box breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and pause for 4. It's like a habit. You know, I just sit up straight and start breathing. And it's been really super good for my spirituality, my mood, my energy. And again, we spoke about that. Feeling super grounded, feeling super grateful and blessed. The lighting in here is making me look like I have bags under my eyes. So let me get a little closer. What else we got going on? Or is that me? I don't have my glasses on. So let's put these glasses back on and cover up those little bags under my eyes. Yes, because the vanity is real. Fix the hair. Okay, we're back. What else are we checking in on? Environmental. So my space, my headspace is good. My physical space in the home is improving. You know, bought a tiny little house about 5 years ago and moved from a bigger home, and so that I was renting, and have been struggling to get the place looking how I want it to look. I've gotten rid of a half of my things, and so making my home what I want it to be is coming together. Things break, live with kids, and so, but environmentally pretty good. I always clean up when I travel, so I go home to a nice clean room. My mom is with us. My mom has decided to live in LA. That is another thing that is making me feel really good. My mom is living in LA. She's close. She's here every day. And we fuss at each other about absolutely nothing, but I love my mom and I just want to be that girl for her, you know? And so that's making me really feel at peace as well. I miss my dad. And everything's going pretty good. The kids are all behaving and being respectful and getting along, which is, you know, pretty normal. My middle son he going through his little youth transition from a kid to adulthood crisis. He's going through it, but we talk, and I think that's super important. We communicate. And then, of course, my little one having a rough second grade year where all the kids are being petty and bullying and doing all kinds of weird stuff. But what I realize is that there's not enough activities at their school. And anyway, getting all into my family because I guess that's a part of it. I am Gen X. We are now the adults that have not become seniors yet. So we're not the seniors. And we are no longer... No, we're still the majority of the working class, I believe. But the millennials are here. They stomping. They're big dogs. They know stuff. They know they tech. I'm super proud of them, actually. I got a baby brother and sister that are millennials. Millennials sold me my house and calls and checks in on me every quarter or so. And I feel really good about them. And this brings me to my point. They are really good at expressing their feelings. They're really good at demanding what they need and want emotionally, which is something that we didn't do in Gen X, and even further not done for the boomers. And being around them and working with them and sharing space with them has really taught me that my happiness is no shame to want to just be happy if it's something that even seems like it's some foolishness. Nothing is foolishness to them. To them, it's like, oh no, that's super important. You're a dog lover? Oh, let's get all into that. So shout out to the millennials. What else? Yeah, so circling back to the 50 rotations around the sun, knowing myself very well and knowing that I'm this ambivert, gotta make sure I have that word right. Someone who needs to be alone to recharge and get energized. And so I always find myself doing something super isolative on my birthday. Love my friends and family and all my associates and everything, but throwing a party never feels like the best idea unless it's like, hey, I'm going to be over here at this brunch. Come meet me over there. Meet me or not, I'm eating brunch. So I got to do something like that when I get back. Issue is being in business. I have about 100 people I need to invite, right? It's not just my little small circle of friends. And I can't forget anyone. That would be bad business. So dealing with that, making sure I throw a thing and invite everyone that I appreciate and let them know that that's what it's about for me. So not going to do it like for my birthday. I have another celebration coming up that I want to celebrate, and it's bringing me so much peace. And we're going to talk about that. You know, if you're 50 years old, and look into your retirement package and see if you're eligible, because it might be a really good idea to cut ties with your current toxic relationship with work, collect your benefits, and do something else. That's what I've done. And it's been a weight off my shoulders to not have to deal with the baggage and the energy and the bureaucracy and the racism, nepotism, and favoritism that was going on in my previous 16-year stint at the County of Los Angeles Department of Health Services. A stint, okay? Enjoyable, love all the people that I met, love all of the awesome things that I've learned, but the toxicity of the actual system, the corporate, pseudo-military system, bites ass real hard. And it was really making it so that if you have thoughts and ideas and you want to express yourself, you can't, you're stifled. The work is stressful. No one at work cares about endeavors or dreams. It's a fucking dream killer job. It's like school. That shit hit me just now real hard. Whew. Thank you. Grateful. Universe. Download. It's a dream killing system, and I had to get out. So I'm out, and I feel free. So checking in on 50, feeling fabulous. I got a little knee pain sometimes. I'm on the X39 stem cell rejuvenation packages. The X39 stem cell rejuvenation patches. I wear two. You're supposed to wear one on your neck and one on your tummy. Either or, but sometimes I wear two and it feels great. I use the Kineon Move Plus Pro red light therapy for my knee and my back, and it really helps. And I take Pharmanex micronutrient supplementation. I mean, it's the best out there. All of their vitamins and supplements are highly bioavailable, so they get in you. You're not smelling vitamin, you're not peeing it out. It's not that stuff from GNC or Costco, nothing against them, but who knows what those, it says vitamin D, but how do you know, right? Pharmanex and New Skin is backed by science. I'm also using New Skin on my face. I just switched from Mary Kay only about a year or so ago because, you know, I've got some issues that Mary Kay hasn't taken care of. It's taken care of me so far, but I got to switch up for the neck. Got to switch up for the jowls. I got to switch up just to give myself a lift. It's all anti-aging products and devices. I'm loving it. It's loving me. And that's where I'm at. I think I hit all the pillars. I just want to say that, yeah, I'm about to go kick it right now. A couple of grown folks spot I heard about from some people that I met. Uber drivers are the best resource in the city. Talk to your Uber driver when you're out of town. I do it every time. Miami, Atlanta, don't matter where I'm at. Talk to the taxi man. He knows. Okay. So just wanted to say that 50 is feeling really fabulous. And I've said a million times. I didn't have a script. I didn't have a particular thing that I wanted to talk about other than checking in with myself and just talking about that. So that concludes this video because now I got to get ready and go